Time now for the AT&T Fan Connection. This is where we get to interact with all of our fans, questions, comments, concerns, and also Jordan gets to have her airtime, which she loves. Jordan,
I
what's
wonder
happening?
if there were any concerns.
What is that?
Is
Is that a Spice Girls shirt?
Okay, let me tell you about this shirt that I'm wearing right now. Okay. Amazing. This is a collab that Admiral did with the Spice Girls for their 25th anniversary. The Spice Girls turned 25. And so, yeah, they did this for the women's Euros this summer, and I had to get one.
Dope. I'm down for the Spice Girls. That's so cool.
Yeah.
But who is it? Like, is it a team? National
team?
No,
it's just the Spice Girls. It's got I think it's the 25th anniversary of Spice World specifically. So it has the logo and it says 25 and Spice on the back.
That's
too.
Amazing.
So, yeah. And I like the little, like the dots and all the colors.
Gingham?
Yeah, it's very cool.
You got some cool shirts.
Mm-hmm.
What's Gingham? You got to touch with the people.
Lord.
You got to touch with the people, man. You just have to look that up.
Landon, what are you wearing?
It's so cool, huh?
Yes. I looked it up. It is a 2006 U.S. men's national team special jersey for when you guys played Latvia
Where did we
friendly before the World Cup.
Was it in Hartford, Connecticut?
Connecticut.
Yeah.
No, that was Venezuela.
No?
I don't have the location on this.
It was in Hartford.
Blurb I'm reading.
I'm sure Kyle will have it in the next 6 seconds.
Yes. Kyle is on our production team. And
I'm almost positive it was Hartford. Jordan, lots of optimistic emails to you this week, I presume?
Okay, so here's something that happened this week in the email. I would say I actually had a little bit of a struggle putting together the mailbag this week because most of the fans did not want to ask you any questions. They just wanted to shout about the U.S. men's national team.
Totally fine.
So
shout out. Therapy. Jordan's your therapist.
I'm not making enough money for that. Okay, so I will say, generally speaking, the consensus is pretty much consistent, whether people wrote in via email or they commented on our Instagram. I would say the people who are the most pessimistic about the U.S. men's national team are saying that we're not going to make it out of the group stage, which Tim and Landon will tell you in the group chat. I believe I said the same thing on Saturday night. I was like, we're getting cooked. We're getting cooked next summer.
A little dramatic. We're going to be fine.
We also have had several requests for the two of you to come out of retirement post haste. Lace up your boots, get in there, and help the guys out. But we did have some questions, and so let's take a look at some of them. The first one is from Brian via email. As a side note, Brian would like to know whether or not I ever made Landon the playlist. I did. Landon found it to be a little scary. Yep.
Dark.
Hey, because you hear that one song, that teenage song or whatever. It's like fun and upbeat, and then I got through it. I was like, this is dark.
Landon's now worried about me personally.
As you should be.
Brian wants to know if I can add A Day to Remember to. So Landon, I guess we're making you like a pop punk playlist now. Maybe we'll find some more upbeat stuff for you.
Send it my way.
Brian says, so many times the U.S. play for the first time during a tournament or international break, they are either slow or look exhausted. Could the travel for the players abroad have an effect on their performance? What was your guys' experience like when traveling during a brief international break, especially when you have to go to multiple cities? Does U.S. soccer need to have a better system in place for that?
Tim?
No, I'm not. I'm
question.
Genuinely giving it thought. It's a good question. The being sluggish because of travel isn't a real thing. They have enough time and they have enough opportunities, and some of them will fly private. And players in England and Europe have to go to Asia and Australia as well, and South America. By the way, we don't talk about Brazil being sluggish.
Further, yeah.
We don't talk about Brazil and Argentina being sluggish. That's not really a thing. What was the second part of the question?
What was your experience like? And does U.S. soccer need to have a better system in place?
Yeah. I mean, look, I think part of it is we don't have a national stadium. You know, when you go to England, you just land in London. They're already, a lot of them are there, but you play in one particular place. I mean, U.S. soccer essentially should have had a national stadium or one that they called their own on the East Coast. just because of the proximity to Europe and other places. But given the landscape of our country, we have had to promote soccer in all corners, and so you have to kind of share alike. So you've had to kind of diversify what stadiums you're going to play in. So I get that. That's the difficult part.
This doesn't have, Jordan, this doesn't have to do with U.S. soccer. This is you as an individual taking care of your body, first and foremost. So the minute, and I mean the minute, your game is over on Saturday or Sunday and you're in Europe, you are in full like recover mode. That's not like a lot of times after the game, you go out, you drink, you do whatever. That's not the time. You're in full recovery mode. They're flying in business class, first class. They can lie down. By the way, all the Korean team plays in Europe too. So there's no excuse there. Right. So it's not easy. It's not ideal. But also FIFA changed these windows. So now when you play Saturday, you fly in Sunday. You have all the way till, do they play Thursday or Friday? A lot of times it's Friday, Tuesday. I think they played Friday, right?
They played Saturday.
Or did they play Saturday?
Yeah.
They played Saturday. Yeah. So even more. I mean, that is enough time. You're not going to be perfect, but you're an elite athlete. Take care of your body. So that's not an excuse. So I don't, it's a good question. And it used to be where you would fly Sunday and play Wednesday. Now that's a real thing. God. But Sunday to Saturday that's not an issue.
No. Can I just go ahead?
I was just going to say, we don't play outside the U.S. either.
Very rarely. We used to play a lot of games in Europe.
Yeah. So like even so what about the players who maybe play for the Korean national team who do play in Asia who had to come here?
Correct.
Right? So like
that was my first thought. Like the goalkeeper I think plays in Asia, and like that's a beast of a trip.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry Brian, I'm not trying to ask your question.
No, but the other side of that, which you I don't know how many times on loan you experienced this, but like the other side of that was we would play. You were talking about the FIFA window, so we'd play on the Wednesday, right? Late. Okay. So that meant the flight back to Europe wasn't until Thursday night. So I would land back every window. I would land back in Manchester on Friday morning. Like zero sleep on the plane, right? I'd land back Friday morning, and I was who I was at Everton, so I was playing on Saturday, right? Like David Moyes was basically like, if you need anything in that medical bag, ingest it or get it injected. But you're playing. I knew I was playing Saturday, and so literally, I wouldn't. There's sometimes I would land in Manchester on Friday, and he'd say, just go to bed. Like don't turn up at training. Sometimes he'd say, come and get a warm down, because I didn't get really a warm down necessarily from the game, right? Because we were out on Thursday. There was no U.S. team warm down on Thursday. And then I would turn up being jet lagged and just get through the 90 minutes. And it was like hell. It was like, just get through this 90 minutes. So the reverse was like so difficult. Anyway.
That was brutal.
Brutal. Next question.
This one's from Randy via email. I'm writing as I was at the U.S. men's national team versus Korea game in Harrison, New Jersey on Saturday, and I was struck by the number of Korean fans in attendance. The announced attendance was a sold-out 26,000 people at Sports Illustrated Stadium, and about 20,000 of them must have supported Korea. Most were well-behaved, although one kept yelling pretty disgusting things at the team and made my 9-year-old son cry. I'm sorry, Randy, that sucks. But their impact on the game was pretty apparent. The Korean players really responded to their energy. How can we as a fan base build that energy and momentum for our team? I'll say the ticket prices were astronomical, and at that price, it's probably the only game we'll be able to attend due to the cost.
So many thoughts on this.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. It is about cost, and here's why. So when I was in, where was I? I was in Denver, right? And I had this conversation, and Mexico played somebody at the football stadium in Denver. It's been a bunch of different sponsors' name. At one time, it was Mile High Stadium, essentially, right? So they weren't playing in our soccer stadium, which was Dick's Sporting Park. This was Mile High, and this thing, LD, it was like Mexico versus Venezuela or Colombia or somebody, and this thing, bro, was packed like to the gills, and it's a big stadium. So I said to someone like, these Mexican fans and the other fans, who they were, I said, they're in our community, by the way. They're not coming from Idaho or Chicago. I said, they're in Denver. I said, so why aren't we Why aren't they coming to our stadium?
Mhm.
And the guy and the person who is obviously I was talking to was basically like, yeah, because this is like Mexico's playing in Denver. Like this is their Super Bowl. Like they're so excited to see their team, right? Because it's kind of a one-off, right? And so we see that a lot. South Korea comes to the New York, New Jersey area. That entire community is like buzzing beyond
Mhm.
belief to see because they're only going to really pay for that moment and that spectacle one time, right? And I think we see that, and to I think it was Randy to his point, these tickets are expensive, right? So you're pretty much willing to splurge on that once, right, to see your
Right.
favorite team and your favorite players ever. It's a lot more difficult paying for travel and paying for tickets to see your team multiple times, and I think that's what the U.S. Soccer fans are running into. I don't know if that was as accurate, but that's what it felt like.
Yeah, I think it's probably a mix of a lot of things right now. There's just not that inspiring to go watch. I
Mhm.
mean, at the end of the day, it's entertainment, Tim,
Mhm.
and people forget that. But like, would you pay money, really good money, to go see that? Maybe not. But like at their best, yeah, you would go pay because it's exciting, it's entertaining, etc.
Mm.
Someone at US Soccer a long time ago said to me, Landon, I don't care where the people come from or who they are as long as the stadium's full.
Mhm.
And from US Soccer's standpoint,
Mhm.
they're ecstatic at the stadium. They could care less if there were
Mhm.
6,000 or 25,000 American fans there.
Mhm.
They're just trying to bring in the money. And
Yeah.
so they said, I don't care if they're from Mexico or Nigeria or
Mhm.
Argentina or America. As long as
Mhm.
the stadium's full, that's all we care about. And I was like, okay, fair enough.
Mm. As a player, I would second that as a player, by the way. Like I prefer to play
I agree. I'd rather just be
in
full.
packed stadiums, even if they were
Yeah.
against me, which sucked, but I would rather that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the only country in the world where that happens, though, right?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Is it the only? I'm just trying to think.
Yeah.
Probably, right?
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
But I mean, it's the beauty of America too, right? Like,
Mhm.
where else can you go where there's 30,000 South Koreans in a community
Mhm.
outside of South Korea, right? Yeah.
I know this is like a very naive thing for me to say, but like I would like to believe that's a reason why the World Cup is here because there's already people who are supporting all of those
Oh, yeah.
countries,
Of course.
you know?
That's why the Club World Cup was here. That's why Club
Mhm.
Right.
America's
Mhm.
here. It's
Mhm.
it's all part of it.
Mhm.
Okay, Joe via email said, as a fan, I agree with Landon and Tim on the current state with the U.S. men's national team. Can you give us your thoughts on the current youth system? And are we now seeing
Oh,
the effects
Jesus.
of pay-to-play culture filtering in? Helicopter parents, players boycotting, players being coddled, etc. Would love to hear your thoughts on this. Also, Joe wanted me to know that this is the third time he sent in a question, and I haven't let him ask one yet, so I had to
Yes,
put this
Joe.
one in. Yeah.
Persistence pays off. Look, I'll dive straight in. The youth system in America. Landon and I have talked about this at nauseum. We'll continue. The youth system in America is just flat broke. The pay to play model is so firmly entrenched; it will never be replaced. It could be subsidized somehow, but it's not going anywhere, and it's failing our kids miserably. Landon, Landon and I were lucky. We were very, very good, very, very good at a young age. People looked the other way on payments, and we got the rub of the green. My daughter, again, I've mentioned it before. She comes from an affluent family, and she has worked her butt off, but she has also had help in getting to ECNL tournaments and all the rest of those things. It's broken. It's broken at its core, which is essentially why we don't produce really good young talent. Simple.
It's like when someone asks you to respond to something on Twitter and you have 140 or 280 characters, and it's like it's going to take 280,000 characters.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this for a long. We will have dedicated youth soccer episodes in the future. But to answer your question directly, yes, you are seeing now the manifestation of all of those things: coddling parents, pay to play, poor coaching,
Mhm.
greedy youth clubs, U.S. soccer. A few people at U.S. soccer thinking they know what's best for the country.
Mhm.
There was an article again in the Athletic this week by Harry Bushnell about what Matt Crocker is trying to do. Yeah, I'm going to bite my tongue there for a minute, but we'll get into this at some point. But they're just just a lot of clueless people who have no idea what they're doing. And well, I shouldn't say that. They have an idea of what they're doing to make money and to profit.
Mhm.
They do not have the best interest of American soccer development
Mhm.
at heart, and they
Mhm.
don't. And that's just the reality. And you can say it's good or bad or whatever.
Mhm.
That is the reality, and we'll dive into that more for sure at some point.
Mhm.
All right. That's it. Thanks, guys.
Great
Hey,
job.
Shara.